Good day, everyone. Welcome to Sound Espressivo, powered by virtual concert halls. We are broadcasting today from Vienna, Virginia. I'm Anna Uspinskaya, and I'll be your host today. Sound Espressivo is a new generation of classical music competition, which offers contestants to perform live in television broadcasts from their own locations, anywhere in the world. Sound Espressivo panel of judges represents top-performing artists and music educators from around the globe. Sound Espressivo offers an unprecedented array of awards for musicians. Our guests join our programs from their own locations around the world. They bring and share their musical gifts, their expertise, their personalities, their dreams. We present our guests' opinion, and we hope that our audience will benefit from hearing different and maybe sometimes conflicting points of view on classical music, music aesthetics, music business, and other topics which we raise throughout our programs. Welcome to our podcast. Meet the judges, music promoters and managers, and music educators.
No matter where you are or who you are, music connects us all. We started with a dream, but now we are paving the future. Welcome to the Sound Espressivo Global Competition. Fully virtual, yet bringing musicians closer together than ever before, now on a global scale. True live, inclusivity, diversity, connection, community, an extraordinary array of judges. Get noticed by companies all over the world. Prizes, scholarships, performance opportunities. Apply to be a part of the most exciting congregation of artists like nothing you've ever seen before. We guarantee quality and leave no musician behind. We can't wait to hear you on the virtual stage.
Yes, we can't hear you on the virtual stage. Can't wait to hear you on the virtual stage. And we're welcoming our semifinalists, the contestants of Sound Espressivo competition, in public broadcasts of the competition starting first week of December. Stay tuned and watch. Today we invited Irma de Jong. She's a founder and managing director of the iClassical Academy, and the cellist Fulvia Mancini. She's one of the company's music mentors, creators of video courses for music students. iClassical Academy helps introduce professional musicians and music students to the work of some of the most renowned and influential concert artists and educators through online learning. iClassical Academy also helps artists of the greatest stature reach a broader audience and to discover the potentials of working and connecting through an online platform. iClassical Academy offers a fully rounded educational curriculum, which is a tremendous source of vetted and proven knowledge. The courses are both academic and practical. They are designed for professional musicians as well as for music students, amateurs, and music lovers. The courses are created in close collaboration with some of the most respected, leading professionals in our field. Recently, the company opened their collection of courses as a rounded curriculum where people can access all of what iClassical accumulated over the years. Pretty much like what a conservatory or a university offers to enrolled students. iClassical Academy is a supporter of the Sound Espressivo competition. The company is sponsoring prizes for winning contestants. The prizes are specifically designed to help musicians be better equipped with modern tools and knowledge for progressing towards their own goals as students, musicians, and artists. Let's welcome Irma de Jong joining us from Switzerland. It's a great honor and a great pleasure to welcome you back, Irma. You're such a forward-thinking mover shaker of our industry, and it's always a great pleasure to hear your comments and your vision for the future of musicians and music.
Hi Anna, thank you very much. It's really great to be back in this show. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Today's show is presenting a unique cellist, an amazing cellist, and a very innovative artist. Fulvia Mancini. And you've worked with Fulvia for a while. So you did also work with a lot of other musicians. You started this company some years ago, at the time when a lot of musicians had not even thought about presenting themselves online at all. Can you please tell us a little bit about how and why you decided to start iClassical Academy?
Um, well, we started, let's say, with recordings in 2014. Why we started? Because one of the founders, we had two founders, they are both non-musicians but very fond of art and music and very much supporting young artists. And they had this idea. One of them actually had that idea when he was visiting a master course in Israel, and he saw how a teacher was giving master classes, and he was thinking in that time, well, it would be really nice if we can record it and we make it accessible to everybody all over the world. And this is actually how it started. So we created a concept of recording some master classes with great artists and professors, and we set the whole thing up in northern Italy. We had a special villa with a recording studio, and we had a very nice ambient over there because the whole people was staying there like one big family, and people had time enough to rest and record and do their work, etc. So this is in a nutshell how we started. And then of course we had to develop the whole business plan to put, you can create interesting stuff and interesting content and people can enjoy it, but you have to spread the word, you have to make it visible to the world. And this is how we created a website and a platform and all the marketing that comes along, the design of the website, the accessibility, the user friendliness, all these kind of things we had to think about. And as a startup, you can encounter difficulties. I mean, every startup will recognize what I say. So we sometimes had to start again and do it again until we really find the right way of presenting our content. And I think today we're pretty far because, of course, we're now almost 7 years later. I mean, if you're not counting this recording year, you could say that next year we're sort of 7 years busy with this project, and it became quite a vast collection of different kind of content. Also, as you said already, academic content, practical content, and most important for us is that we offer something for all musicians all around the world. And that's why we always say we're eco and also wallet friendly. You don't have to fly, you don't have to travel, you don't have to spend this kind of money. You can access online. We have a very reasonable monthly or yearly price. You can even just buy one course if you want. And that's another very important thing for the founders. The founders that created this, they always wanted it to have it very much accessible. We sometimes get a remark that we are too cheap, but yes, it's really funny. But
That's really funny.
It's really funny, but we said from the beginning, look, it's important that if you are a student in the US, you can afford it, or if you are a teacher in the US. If you're in Europe, you should be able to afford, but also when you're in South America or in South Africa or in Australia or in Indonesia, wherever you are, you should be able to afford this. And that's why it became for us a crucial point. So that's why we, in some other people's eyes, are too cheap.
Well, the content you create is so extraordinarily valuable. I'm not surprised that some people will say that that is a very cheap price for something as in depth and uh, as widely scoped and as informative and as helpful. The way you created the collection of the content. I want to ask you one more question. I don't know if you hear feedback from some musicians. There's different points of view and different opinions about online learning, but I hear from some musicians strong opinion that music and as a performing art cannot be really taught or learned effectively through online methods, through online pre-recorded content, or through online teaching and learning. And of course, 7 years in business and you have not gone out of business is a manifestation of that form of learning and teaching being a success. But as a managing director of it, I'm sure you get direct feedback from people who purchase the courses and participate in them. What is your, just quickly, what is your understanding of how much future does that form of learning have?
I always relate it very much to generations. I mean, each generation is always convinced that a new technology that enters the market or a new technology that is available is maybe not as good as it used to be. I mean, look at cars, for example. The current millennials, they don't give anything about a car. They rather take a Uber, or they don't have a car, or they get a public transport. And if you
That's
see
so
it
true. They consider
Yes.
car a hassle.
Exactly. Or if you are more into sustainability and eco-friendly kind of things, you would say, I don't need a car, although you can also have an electric car, of course. But just to picture that it's very much related to generations and how people think about it. So if you say online learning, I also met those people. I met artists and professors that we also approached, and they said, no, online teaching is not for me. Also very famous ones. But most of them, they were in their, let's say, older ages. So I could also understand. It's something that if you are not brought up with this means and you don't understand, or you maybe don't use it so much, you cannot really see the benefits. So I think it's fine if people still have this opinion. I think that today, with the current situation where we live in, almost nobody will say it. Many people say, yes, but it's fine that we have it, but it can still not replace the physical teaching. I think that we should not talk anymore about this or that. We have it both, and it serves us both, and it can serve us also in different manners. And I think that's the main point.
That's an excellent point, and I totally understand, and I agree with the point. And it's very important not to compare the two things, which bring different opportunities, and don't really cross the paths that much. The two
Right.
different methods of teaching, they're not the same; they're different, and they have their own different scope of opportunities. That is so true.
Yes, and just to add a very small illustration to that as well, is that, as I say, it has both nice opportunities. Let's say you have a physical lesson, you go to your professor's place, maybe you have a little chat, a cup of tea, he says, how are you? Or she says, how are you? You have this socializing, okay, very nice, and then you finally start teaching. Some students, they are sometimes disappointed because they go home and they think, I had an hour, but we spent 20 minutes talking, and now I only had this and this. With online teaching, it could be that you don't have this social talk, or maybe much shorter, but you go much straighter and much quicker to the point. So after 1 hour, a student could think, well, not so bad, because now this time I had really a full hour of lessons. And also another thing that I experience is that when you learn online, I also learn online for different subjects. You stay very much concentrated, because you are not distracted by, maybe there's a cat in the house that comes around you,
That's true.
or so it has really this kind of advantages. But both have good sides, and
Yeah.
both can have negative sides. Let's put it like this.
Yeah, and from my experience, both can have negative sides depending, or good sides, depending on how we use it. If we use it appropriately to the form, the tool fits the purpose, then we can make the most out of either one of them, either one of
Yes.
the learning methods.
Exactly, because you could have. I also spoke to some professors. They told me, yes, but it sucks to teach online because I can hardly see them or hear them. And then when you ask a little bit further, like, how is your connection? What kind of Wi-Fi? How are you connected? Are you using an extra video? Do you have something? You know, some things you also have to learn first to understand how you can make the experience better.
Absolutely, that's very important. It's a new experience and it's a new form, and there's some bits of new technology which can help. And if we don't reject that learning curve, but embrace it and just get on a journey and learn those things, we can improve the picture, we can improve the sound, we can improve all those elements, and together they'll make for a much better experience.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Now, iClassical just recently launched a new form of all-inclusive offering of the curriculum, the 360 program. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I can say you that it's also a little bit born because of my frustration. As you know, I'm also an artist manager and I work for many years with artists. I also work a lot with young artists. And a couple of years ago, I was really sad to see how little they knew about this, that they had really no knowledge about what is entrepreneurship, that it's not sufficient to just, I say just, but I don't mean this disrespectful, know about your instrument, know the technique, master this into perfection, which is also necessary. So it's a little bit born from this. And then I started to create a self-management course for musicians, basically about communication and how to use it and what to do with it. But you have many other people outside the door that also created very interesting things. So you have people that created courses about business and finances. You have people that talk about different methods to relax the body, the posture, to understand how to how to manage better the whole picture of your musician being. And this is when we got the idea to say, well, why don't we offer the complete picture, because we also see how difficult the market is. And I call it the market, but it's the music industry. The music industry is difficult. There are a lot of people around. There's a lot of great talent. And it's not easy at all to have concerts, to be able to teach, to to create, to compose, to bring your compositions in the world. It takes a lot of effort, and we should not take it light. And I really think that that was for us, the team of iClassical, a reason to start brainstorming. Like, okay, how can we improve that? And another important element to this is that we also wanted to open our academy, because we started with, as you said, renowned artists and professors, and we still work with them. But also in that field, there are many, many talented teachers who have an important thing to share with us, with other musicians. And so we also thought that it would be important to open the door and let other people in.
That's fantastic. To me, what it looks like is you opened the big, beautiful door to a real university, real academy in the music field, but with a new, more modernized curriculum. Some schools, of course, are moving in that direction too, and they're offering courses in business and management. But you have accumulated a very focused, very comprehensive curriculum in that side, directed so specifically to musicians and music industry. This is an incredible source of one-stop knowledge of many different aspects of our profession and our field. And you're working with musicians and businessmen and managers, people who created those courses from around the world. So you have the luxury of being able to bring on your faculty people from different schools and different
Right.
parts of the world. That's absolutely incredible for me.
Right. And another thing that we also recently started to do is invite other universities, academies, or music schools, conservatories, because what you just said is right. They also work on this and they bring wonderful content. And we really would, it's our dream to sort of to gather all of this together. So as a student, um, or as a professional or as an amateur musician, you can also profit from this. Because right now, if you go to a conservatory, you know that as well, or university, you are between a certain age and that's it. And then sometimes you can still find other things for other age groups, but it's not so easy. And so we would really see it as our biggest achievement if we can have one place, that iClassical Academy is the one place where you can find almost everything. That's, I mean, it's impossible,
It's
but
impossible.
we strive for the impossible to be happen.
Well, you
And
strive for impossible. You make something good happen.
exactly. And that's really a dream. So we have already, for example, through Naxos, we have a wonderful duck app collection. And they recorded wonderful masterclass. There's Leonidas Kavakos, Misha Maisky, but others. There's Natalia Lomaiko about Kreutzer Etudes, and it's really great. And so you have so many other institutions, and sometimes they forget about the values that they have in their school.
Absolutely, that's a very good point. A lot of times they just routinely record master classes and just store them and forget that they existed. And these need to be reintroduced to a much
Yeah.
wider audience. Yep.
Exactly. And then, you know, because we are, let's say, we're not bounded to anybody. We're not bounded um, to us, how you say, institution or official institution or the government, or I mean, we are free to discuss with universities. Let's put a part of your catalog and let's offer it through iClassical. We can do it quick. We don't have to go through 3 boards of, I don't know, directors, and then there's the whole management team, then there's the team of the teachers, and before you know, another year passes. No, we're pretty quick. We put it in our catalog, we make it available for other people, and so it's also a chance for academies to connect together and make a synergy out of a couple of components that are now having nice things together, but you can just group it all and have one big great iClassical online.
Amazing. This is incredible. I'm glad the universities and the conservatories are getting on board. It's about time. Their
I really
content
hope.
needs.
I mean, should they watch now, I really invite them to write to us, and we're a very open organization. We are open for discussion, and yes, it would be wonderful.
Yeah, and I would like to encourage anyone and everyone who is working in the institution, conservatory, or university music department, please take a look at how the material is organized on the website for iClassical Academy. You'll find a lot of thought and a lot of meaningful connections between different courses, and very well organized and very with a lot of care. So please get in touch and let's develop together more what's available for students.
Thanks, Anna.
Yeah. So for today's program, can you please say a few words about your work with Fulvia Mancini?
Of course, I can. Fulvia Mancini. I know Fulvia for about 7 years, and I actually got to know her through our president of our board, who's also a good friend of her, and she's a wonderful cellist. She has her roots in Sicily, Italy. She comes from a very nice, warm Sicilian family. She moved to Switzerland to study in Lausanne. I know her from the beginning when she still had a piano duo with another Sicilian Italian pianist who was studying with her together, and they did really wonderful things. They were part in some of the festivals that we were organizing in Crans Montana. They also took part in some video recordings that we did, not for iClassical but for other purposes. So I know her for quite some time, and what is interesting is to see how she developed herself from being just a freshly finished master student, how she developed. She also took other information that she wanted to learn about. I think she studied even law or something.
Oh, wow.
Very versatile, very much open also for the world. She did a art management course. So she developed herself really interesting, and I'm very happy that we have a chance today to show a little bit about who she is, what she's doing, and her music, especially her music, how it developed until now.
This is wonderful. And in today's format of our program, we'll play pre-recorded interviews in several sections with Fulvia, and we'll come back after each section with some comments. So let's see the first one.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Fulvia Mancini. I am a cellist, artist, teacher, arranger, and composer. Thank you very much to Anna Uspenskaya and to Sound Espressivo to give me the possibility to make this short interview, to answer to some interesting questions and speaking and talking about my projects. The first question maybe is about online streaming. What is about that? The idea to be present today on the streaming online platform is something really good if we think as a replacement of forbidden concerts. Of course, it will be missing the contact with public, the atmosphere, but the advantage to do that is to be known from people that even don't know that you exist. For example, at Easter, me and my husband, Massimiliano Martinelli, as Mr. and Mrs Cello, we were invited to play on the vinyl channel Facebook live streaming concert, and during this moment we had a range of 8,000 viewer and listener, something that never happened. Of course, it's more stressful because your performance is not less stressful than live performance. And is a way to stay connected even more if you read and you have the possibility to read comments at the same time. Although I saw during this lockdown period in March so many great artists giving a concert from their home or making fantastic educational tutorial, everything in which we can stay connected with other people and to feeling the same energy is of course welcome. About online streaming festival is of course a good option if things will be currently going as they are going, but I think and I sustain the idea that organizer and artists should get a support for that, because there is so many work on the back, and that can't be just for free. And every creativity here now, every idea is so welcome, because we need to open our heart and our mind to other doors, especially in this period, and to feel the most important things, the connection between human being and making arts and music live.
That's a beautiful introduction. Fulvia is really so full of energy and so profoundly thoughtful.
Yes, absolutely. And I think she made a good point here to say that we should maybe, well, she didn't say it, but she said that it's maybe not so good to perform online and then do it every time for free. I fully agree. I think that we should really find a way to, also when you perform online, it should be very normal that you contribute something, that you pay a ticket or you donate something. Facebook has very wonderful options also for that, because we should not maintain this bad habit of saying that musicians always have to play for free. There is already so much free material, and some institutions, they can afford it, a big opera hall or an orchestra, but even to those people, I would say, please try to change this habit of throwing everything online for free, because I find it not good for musicians.
Absolutely. And this just creates that field of disrespect to
Exactly.
the work which goes into. And it's also supported by a very old and debunked myth that there is this talent which just manifests itself in musicians sitting down and just playing easily. The
Exactly.
ease with which musicians present their art is not based on mystic talent. It's based on hours and hours of very focused and hard work. And as all the work of other professionals needs to be respected and needs to be supported by the payment, so does the art of the professional musicians.
Yeah, and so does it have to be online? Should be the same.
Absolutely. And we will be working on changing that.
Exactly.
Musicians and managers and educators, we will put our heads together and we'll work on changing.
To change that as well, yes. It's very important. I mean, we laugh about it, but it's really important. And it's sometimes also a frustration that I feel within myself, because I know how hard musicians work, and I know how many times I also myself I had to defend artists for the salary or the fee that they were asking when they came to perform in a festival. So many times I had to say to the board or to the team, listen, this is justified. So don't say, oh, that's easy money. No, it's justified. Exactly because of what you just said, the time that you spend, the hours, and not only that for the preparation for the concert, but think about all the years you had before. So we should really change that habit.
Absolutely. So Fulvia also created this amazing course for iClassical Academy, which is available through the website. And let's see the intro which she made for that course.
Since last year, I am part of iClassical Academy family as a music mentor. I am a passionate artist with a high attitude to educational tool of cello playing. And what makes me even more passionate is the idea to combine yoga, meditation, and visualization skills and tools with my cello learning and my cello teaching. I created a method, a personal method, a daily routine in which I give some important information about how long should we meditate, how which sentences should we write and visualize, which yoga basic exercise. In my course I spoke just about 3, but there are so many, and the idea is to go further with that can help and sustain the muscle of the musician, every string player. And this job, this work took me quite a lot of time, because to be conceived and to be written and to be after shown in a 30-minute tutorial was not at all easy. And that's why, of course, it will be a continuation, because other ideas during this last month came, and I'm excited to share soon other tutorials like this.
That is very interesting approach to combine. Fulvia has so many different sides to her education and background in professional cello playing and all the courses which go with that, and her business experience, and now yoga. Can you just highlight a few points in that?
Yes, I certainly can. So her course is really interesting. First, she speaks Italian in the course, but we have English subtitles, so it can be followed by everyone. What is interesting is her holistic approach, as I call it. So the holistic approach to not only consider the body, but also, the levels that we have, the spiritual level, the mental level, the emotional level, and physical. And she gives exercises for each of these levels. So the spiritual, to know how to meditate, how to relax your mind, not to think, these kind of things. Well, probably she has a different method, because also in meditation, as you know, you have, I don't know how many different kind of meditation methods. Then she's using a lot of the breathing, so to sustain the body and to support your movements also when you play. So it's a very much holistic approach of music playing, and very useful. I don't know, do you meditate, Anna?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, well, I do too. And how long are you meditating?
Well, I keep it kind of on a flow, but I would say each day maybe 5 to 7 sessions, sometimes 1 minute, 2 minutes, sometimes up to 5 to 6 minutes.
Okay, and so if I ask you, what do you describe as the best benefit from meditation for yourself?
Refreshment
Hmm.
and re-energizing and coming back to feeling true to myself.
Hmm. So yeah, you see, I mean, I also meditate, and for me, um, it's a little bit a different benefit, but I also think that it depends on what kind of person and activity you have. For me, it was always very much relaxing the mind. It's really like a so relaxing feeling that I really know that, okay, after this meditation, you're back on the ground with 2 feet again, but sort of, as you say, refreshed and empty. So you can start again, filling yourself up with
Declutter.
thoughts and feelings and I don't know what. So I think that this kind of, let's say, awareness that you can reach through a holistic approach when you look at yourself is very much improving your performance, improving yourself as a human being, improving how you react to the outer world. So it has a lot of benefits. And what she's doing in her course is very much concentrating on these aspects. And she gives you tools to help you realize a better practice time for yourself. Because some people, maybe they get frustrated. I didn't manage, I have to do it again. So she also gives tips to manage that better. And then also for your performance, of course, how to prepare, what kind of breathing to use when you start to feel nervous, these kind of things. It's a very rich course. It's a short course, but it's rich.
Wonderful. Um, and Fulvia is a very round and holistic person and musician herself. She does many different things very successfully. We'd like to introduce the other side of her, the ensemble, and I don't want to give out too much before we watch the next segment.
This year, although I worked a lot with my husband, Massimiliano Martinelli, in my cello duo Mr. and Mrs Cello, with other classical arrangements and recording. The first cello book we arranged is a compilation of pop song music pieces published by Leonard. I have here, can show. and is out from April last time, and now is available also in Europe in through musiceurope.com. And there is also included audio access online. The second cello book will be online soon, out soon, and is about two parts invention written by Johann Sebastian Bach for piano, arranged and recorded for two cellos, and that was our big work this year. But not only, with Leonard we also we plan to make a third book next year, and especially for me, I could compose, spontaneously compose for season 2020 for two cellos, because I was inspired, maybe so many lockdown days, and that is part of my job now fully. It's nothing that came by case. I think it belongs to me, to my being artist. Since my childhood I always composed, and I liked extremely also pop music, rock music, every nice music, and that's why that's a dream that came true. The partnership with Halido Music that spread our music through the main channels. The partnership with Leonard brought us to be known more in America, in the States, and that was our main goal. We are really grateful that we can work with these two amazing companies now. The speciality of our cello duo is, of course, that we are partner in the life, so sometimes it's not so easy. I must say, our point of view are not always the same, and that's also is making our duo interesting, because we are not choosing the same bowing, we are not choosing the same part of the bow. It's really difficult that we are really playing the same music phrase in the same way, and this is maybe our specialty as cello duo, and the freedom we have to define our project, to decide, okay, which music do we wish to arrange, in which direction we go today, and of course this amazing partnership. And we are really happy that we can make this dream true now. We are living our artist life with big freedom and love.
This is a great goal to set, and a wonderful underscoring of the possibilities and how musicians use the possibilities to make the statement: we live our dream, being artists, being successful, being productive, and being able to handle the challenges and difficulties.
Yeah, exactly. And it's well, you said it yourself. It's also in this respect, it's a holistic approach. I mean, they both have their life as a musician. They perform with orchestras. Massimiliano, for example, he plays in the orchestra of the Opera Verona. He also played in the orchestra of the Toonhalle in Zurich, Fulvia as well. And so they do different things. Then they teach not only to adults but also to children. They have their own festival. They used to have a festival in the south of Italy, in a very special place, a sort of old castle. Then they have a festival now at a little lake in Switzerland. So they're versatile, you say, sorry.
Mhm.
And they're also all the time. You have to be active. You need to learn new skills. You need to understand. Maybe I wanted to do this, but it's better if I take this road. And then what I also find very interesting is the arrangements that Fulvia writes for cello. Or sometimes she had, for example, in the past she made a video with, it was a complete creative idea. So it was a video, Amado Mio, which is based on a Italian song that was the main song in a film noir. I think it's called Gilda, and she rearranged the music for piano and cello in a classical way. So it was a more, let's say, popular song, and she reversed it to a classical version for piano and cello. Very beautiful. And this kind of things. So thinking all the time, what can we do? How can we? They play music from Sting, and they have what's again this name of the band? They have this strange song, "Smells Like a Teen." Uh, you know, you know who I mean, right? And they play this as well. She makes an arrangement, and then they play it as well. And then what I find interesting, what she says in the video, is to also,
Nirvana.
acknowledge
Nirvana.
that, yes, Nirvana, that she acknowledges that, yes, there are partners in music, in life, but they can have different opinions and they can
Yes.
play in different ways. It's interesting, no? That she uses different bowings than he, and, they let each other free, and it would not disturb the music at all.
Yeah, it enriches the music, and she really made a point that that is a specialty, and that it makes their music making richer. That's so true. My husband is a musician too, and we play even in a family trio. In fact, we're
Ah,
preparing to this weekend. We'll have one of our recordings being broadcast by music school in Washington D.C. area as a fam trio. And let
nice.
me tell you, that is very challenging, but extremely enriching. Yeah, it's with my husband and my son. So
Great.
this is wonderful. I can relate to what she's speaking, and letting each other have our own say in the ensemble can be destructive and can just destroy both music ensembles and relationships. But they managed it to the great benefit, and thus enriched their own output as musicians. This is so worth it. I want to ask all the musical families, try to do that and try again and try again. It's tough, but it's very rewarding. Yeah. And let's see one of the samples of Fulvia and her husband's Mr. and Mrs. Cello recordings. Yeah. That's absolutely beautiful. And I can't believe nobody came up with an idea to do the two-part inventions, to rearrange them for two cellos before. It's once they've done it, it seems like such a natural thing to do.
Not only that, when I look at them now, I had to think of their marriage. I was invited to their marriage. It's 6 years ago, and they had a wonderful, beautiful Italian entourage, a castle, and it was fantastic. The whole family there, most of them from Sicily, so you can imagine a little bit the atmosphere.
Yes.
And as a surprise, we arranged for them that one of her former teachers, one of Fulvia's former teachers, Silvia Chiesa, who is also, by the way, one of the master teachers in iClassical Academy, and her partner, Maurizio Ballini, they came to perform for them. And so when I was looking at them now, this image came in my mind because I saw both Fulvia and her husband from the back when I was sitting in this ceremony. And then in the corner we had Silvia Chiesa and Maurizio Ballini, and it was really beautiful. But why am I saying this? Because when I see them performing together, Fulvia and Massimiliano, they look like really, in all those years, they really established, a very, very profound connection. You can also hear it when they play together. No, both of them have their own way, but it's like they will. I'm sure that they always will find their way in whatever they do, even if they disagree. They will always come back to this firm base that they build together. Yeah, it's very nice to see. I'm really very happy to see this.
I agree with you. It's incredible how much more an enriching experience this musical collaboration can bring to the marriage and to the family. It really is on a whole different additional level. People
Right.
connect with each other if they are courageous and make themselves vulnerable to the challenges that working together as musicians can be.
Right.
You're absolutely right. It creates much more profound connection and much more profound expression of love in a family.
Exactly. I think we can only hope that they create a much bigger cello family. And in
That
a
would be
while we
wonderful.
don't have Mr. and Mrs. Cello, but we have the whole family cello.
There are three-part inventions out there. They're waiting for the
Very
cello
good.
family to
Okay,
create them,
great.
to
Well,
transcribe them.
that's our invitation to them.
Yes, yes, we would love to see that happen and hope to see it soon. And this was really a tremendously beautiful and very meaningful presentation. And we want to thank Fulvia and her husband for opening up to their work and their vision and their principles and ideas to the world. And Irma, thank you so much for bringing them on Sound Espressivo podcast programs. This is a wonderful message. We would love to see a lot of people consider and think how it would work for them in their lives and in their professional endeavors. So I believe we have a message from Fulvia also to the musical community. Let's play that.
Artist life should be lived with extremely freedom. I like both performances, pre-recorded and live performances. Of course, the pre-recorded offer the possibility to combine beautiful shots on artists making a video, and that can be more interesting for the public. But live concerts give you the possibility to feel this moment, to stay in this moment with your public. So it's something, of course, amazing. As soon as I knew that Sound Espressivo is organizing a competition for young people, for young musicians, connected from all the parts of the world, I was really excited. It's an amazing idea, and it's even more stressful because every musician will know, oh wow, now it's not just a jury there, or some public, is a big whole, really, the world, or who will be connected. So I encourage a lot to make to become a contestant, because that is a really good motivation to make themselves even better.
And thank you, Fulvia, for this wonderful message. Yes, let's turn the entire world into a concert hall. Why not? Beautiful comparison she made. And to finish our program, Irma, I would like to ask you to give a message to the music community.
I would say just throw yourself in. There are many very great opportunities. There is virtual concert halls. There is Sound Espressivo. What else do you want? Throw yourself in. Throw yourself in online. Nobody will harm you. You will have a lot of possibilities. We will be so delighted to see you perform online, and to help you grow, help you learn whatever you need. We support you, and the online classical music world is waiting for you. See you soon.
Yes, see you all soon. And you have a big community of musicians, music educators, music promoters. Everyone is here to extend our love, our care, and our help for you to grow and to become better self. Thank you, Irma, so much for joining us to this program. And
Thank
with
you,
this,
Anna.
yeah, it's such a great pleasure, always. And with this, I would like to thank our viewers, our supporters, and everyone who is watching now or will be watching later. And special thanks go to the musicians and producers, people behind the scenes who are producing these programs and making the virtual concert halls platform available and sustainable and working for all musicians around the world. And we'll be back with more programming. See you later. Bye.